Hello everyone. We have already seen how to place many elements in our page, but something very important is missing, the images. Well, in this chapter, we will see how we can add our different images, be it photos, drawings, or even explanation diagrams. To start, we're going to have to choose what kind of images we're going to use. I'm talking here about their encoding formats. As you know, there are many formats, such as JPG, BMP, TIFF, GIF, PNG, and so on. For a website, I will recommend that you use only 3 formats, with for each of them, a very precise utility. First, the JPG format, or JPEG. This format is ideal for everything related to photography, because it compresses your image very well, with very little loss of quality, which is generally imperceptible on a photo. Moreover, it allows you to have more than 16 million colors. This is the most common and standard format. Second, the PNG format. It exists in 2 variants, either in 256 colors, ideal for example schemats, and either, like JPG, in 16 million colors. The advantage of PNG is that it allows you to have transparency in an image, which JPG does not allow, and that there is no loss of quality. You are going to say to me, but then, madam, why not use the PNG for our photos instead of the JPG? Simply because, for the same image, the size of the JPG file will be much smaller than that of PNG. You should know that images are much larger than text. This is around 100 kO to more than 10 mo. Therefore, the smaller the size of the image file, the faster it will load, and also, your internet server will allocate you a certain amount of storage space, often around 500 megabytes for servers free, and therefore, if you place a certain number of images on your site, the greater their compression, the more space you will save on your server. Finally, in third, the GIF format. It has a big disadvantage. It is only in 256 colors, but it has the advantage of being able to have animated images. Also use it sparingly, as it is also very bulky. Do not use formats like BMP, which are almost uncompressed, and which for the same image will give you a volume of 10 to 100 times higher. In short, for photographs, prefer the JPG format. For drawings, diagrams, or images with transparency, the PNG format. And for animated images, the GIF. Now let's see how to insert an image into our page. Images are placed with an HTML tag, and therefore in the HTML code, unlike background images which are placed in the CSS code, and therefore, the tag to insert an image is the orphan tag, img, quite simply, img like image. This tag will have to be placed in another tag, whether text, like p or hx, links, like a, or tags that will partition our page, and that we will see in the following chapters. I will just, for example, use the pair tag, div, which allows us to create a division of our page, and whose functions we will see in the chapter dedicated to it. Before going further, the img tag must imperatively have 2 attributes. They are src, which will define the image file to display, and alt, which will display a text instead of your image, if this one could not be downloaded, or cannot be displayed by the host browser. Let's detail them. First, src, like source, which will define the location of your image file. As for the links, it can be absolute, a URL of the type http://www.sitex.com/images/myphoto.jpg, or relative, path of the folder if necessary, and the name of the image file. Attention, for a background, the relative path is in relation to the CSS file, while for an image, it is in relation to the HTML file. And secondly, the attribute, alt, as an alternative, which will contain as value, a short text which will be displayed instead of the image, if this one cannot be downloaded or displayed. We're going to do a little test, with 2 examples. First, I'm going to put an image inside some text, and second, just inside a div tag. So let's open our editor with our latest save. We will work on the HTML code. So, we're going to add a little text, with an image interspersed in it. I'm going to use the h2 type tag, which will contain, for example, the title of the page, which we created in the previous lesson, with its 4-color border, like this. I write the title, I will put it in 2 parts, between which we will place our image. So, at the end of the first part, we add the tag, img. I will reuse the PNG image of the banner, which is in the subfolder, content, and therefore, I add the attribute, src, with the value, the name of the subfolder, the slug, and the name of the image, like this. Then, I add the attribute, alt, and I put as value the text, our image. So much for the first. For the second, we are going to add a division of our page, with the tag in pair, div, and slug div. Between these we will add our image, exactly as in the title, therefore, the img tag, with the src attributes and the image path, and the alt attribute, with the alternative text, like this. Attention, basic, and without definitions with the CSS, your image will have its real size, therefore, do not choose images that are too large, from 300 to 400 pixels in height and width, it is more than enough. In addition, rename your images if necessary, with simple names, in lowercase letters or numbers, and, as for IDs, remove spaces or replace them with an underscore. Here are the good and bad examples. Alright, let's save our code, and see the result in our browser. Good, our 2 images are well displayed, the one in the div area, just under the title, on the left, and in the title, yes, our image is well in the center of the title, but the text is displayed on the bottom base of the image. Don't panic, we'll see how we can modify this with CSS, as in this example, when creating the frames. Well, as for the links, we can place a tooltip which will be displayed when hovering over the image, with exactly the same attribute, that is, the attribute, title, with as value, the text to display in the tooltip. Here's what it would look like in our example. You can check it in the browser, where, when we hover over an image with the mouse, the tooltip of this one appears well, and disappears when we leave the image. We can also link with an image. Simply, we create the link with the a tag, we put the attributes of this tag, that is, the link address, which may be the image address, and that when the user will click on the image, it will be automatically offered for download. Then, instead of the link text, we place our img tag, with its attributes, src, alt, and title, which could contain, click to download the image. As in this example, in which I modified the content of the div tag, with a link to the present image. If we open this code in the browser, and we click on the third image, the download box will open to offer you to save it on your hard drive. Well, everything we have just seen is valid for all types of images, just to enhance, or decorate, your site or text. Now we can use a special tag, which will give meaning to your image. This one will be used, for example, for explanatory images, which are therefore important for the understanding of the text. Remember, like the em and strong tags, it's just going to give meaning to your image. This tag is the pair tag, figure, between which we can place one or our images, exactly as we have just seen, but also text, which we will place not in a paragraph tag, but in a pair tag, fig caption, and this exactly as in all text tags. Here is an example, where I will place 3 images of icons from different browsers, with a text at the bottom of them. So I place the tag, figure. Between them, I place one after the other, the 3 browser images. Then, after these, I place the tag, fig caption, in which I place the descriptive text. Like this. Then, let's see the result in our browser. Well, so we can see one thing, in our title, and in our figure, the elements follow each other, they are, inline, style type tags, effectively, like the EM, strong and mark tags, the IMG tag is an inline type tag, and therefore, the elements will be placed one after the other, on the same line. So, remember, use the figure tag, if your, or some, images are important for the good understanding of your site, because, as with emphasis, search engines, especially for images, can create lists important images of your site, and for example, classify them in appropriate tables. Well, we have seen in this part how we can add images and choose their formats, and in the second part, we will see how to place, resize, and decorate them. This part will be important because what we are going to see for the images can apply to many other elements, such as for example, for our banner, but also for all the different types of frame. Thank you for your attention. Katerina and Patrick.